Hello, fellow writer friends. I'm Christina Rienzi, thriller author, writer coach, and president of Sisters in Crime Central Jersey. Today, I'm here to talk to you guys about how to get out of your own way and how to stop holding yourself back from success that you want and so deserve. Each of us authors here, we have our own definition of what success looks like. It's what we're going for, why we get up every morning and we write that book or that screenplay or that story. And, a lot of times it's really ourselves that are holding us back from that success that we want. And, it could be in something small, like, we don't celebrate a win, like something great happens and we don't celebrate it. We don't focus on all that we've achieved. We just move forward, which is something I'm, definitely guilty of and working on, just like all the other things that we're going to talk about today. But, maybe it's focusing on the negative, instead of the positive, like where you were rejected versus where you were praised, be it in a review or otherwise. Other times it can hide itself really in the form of like playing it safe, doing what you're comfortable doing because that's safe and there's no risks that to take, but you're not taking those risks, and so opportunities aren't appearing for you. So that's something that we also do. Or many times we'll let fear win. We could be afraid of getting up in front of a room and doing a workshop because we don't like speaking in front of people. We don't know what they're going to think of us, or if they're going to like what we have to say, or if it's going to be helpful. It could also be fear of failure and fear of success, which a lot of us struggle with, both of those things. So, all of these things that are holding us back are natural and normal for you and for whatever's happening with you. I mean, it's the way we operate in this world, and a lot of it is serving the purpose of protecting us. So it does have a purpose, but it's definitely not helping us be successful. It's not helping us to go for that big dream we have, whatever that big dream is. And it's also not helping us unleash our greatness, the greatness inside of us, which we all have. We're storytellers, we have stories to tell, we have readers to meet, we have places to go. And when we hold ourselves back, we are getting no closer to that than we were the day before. So we're sabotaging ourselves and holding ourselves back, and we're in our own way. So, we're going to talk about, obviously, how to get out of your own way today. And the good news is this doesn't have to be the way it is forever and ever. It doesn't have to be our destiny. It doesn't have to be our future. It's where we are right now in a current situation or mindset, and it's temporary. It is changeable, and you can change it. It doesn't happen overnight, but there are steps you can take to get moving in that direction. And so I think, the best way to go about this is just thinking of maybe going through some examples of what that looks like. And then I'm going to give you some tips on how to sort of coach yourself through it a little bit. And also, questions you can ask yourself to get to the root of the problem so that you can move past it, even if it's just in a moment. Again, these things don't go away overnight, but certainly when we find ourselves in a bad place, we can move out of that place. So if you find yourself stuck, or holding yourself back, you're feeling bad, like you had a bad review, you see someone else who had a mega success and you're wondering if that'll ever happen to you, or you're thinking that will never happen to me and that's something you want. Maybe you have some level of success and you're afraid that you're going to lose it, or you're afraid you're not worthy or what others will think. And this does happen a lot, believe it or not. You get what you want and then you're like, oh my gosh, what will others think? Do I deserve it? And these crazy thoughts can go through your head, and they certainly go through mine. So that's why I'm sharing that. But what that is? It's all saying the same thing, and it's the same thing we all have. It's that message of I'm not good enough. Right? It rears its ugly head in so many ways, but it's inside of all of us, and it pops out at the most inopportune times. The times that we need to be feeling proud of ourselves, we're wondering if we're good enough. The times opportunity might strike, are we good enough? Do we have the courage? It's more than just your inner critic. It's like an inner monster, that inner gremlin, that inner bear that's just barreling down on you when you're weak. And like I said, it doesn't go away easily, but over time you can work to recognize it, confront it, and even embrace it, and that's over time, and just know that that's possible. So how does it show up? It shows up as a thought, for example, that you might have. So the first thing that'll happen is that you have this thought that you're a terrible writer, or maybe it's I'm not worthy of success. Maybe it's I'm destined to fail. I'll never be successful. And so when these things happen, we hold ourselves back because we believe it. And even if it's a fleeting moment, it's like a split second thought in your head, we hold ourselves back because we hear it and we believe it. It's easy to believe for most of us. So if I were to coach you on this, or you to coach yourself on this, I would go through a scenario something like this, and I think this is something you can play out for yourself if you're comfortable when this happens. So something happens that brings you down. It freezes you. It makes you question yourself in your writing, and you're thinking, should I really do this writing thing? And I'm terrible. I'm a terrible writer with a terrible manuscript, and what am I doing? I'm wasting my time. There's some questions you can ask yourself, okay? And really, it's putting in perspective, what is it that you really want? What is your goal? What are you trying to achieve? And if the answer is, well, I really want to, have my book be on the New York Times bestseller list. Let's say that that's your goal. Okay, so feeling like you're, this terrible writer and terrible person and you're frozen, how is that thought helping you? It's not helping you, right? It's holding you back a little bit. So what is it that you're really afraid of? Why aren't you taking that next step? And your answer may be, well, you know what? I really do want to be on the New York Times bestseller list, but actually I'm kind of afraid of success. Like, I don't know what that's going to look like, what people are going to think of me, if I deserve it. Okay. So if you're afraid of success, what is that doing for you, that fear of success? Okay, so, well, I'm afraid of it, so I guess I'm not going to put myself out there. I'm not going to take risks. I'm not going to embrace anything, that happens good because I don't deserve it. And, I'm actually not going for that thing. So, okay, so you're holding yourself back is what it sounds like, right? So how is holding yourself back, not going for that thing, that New York Times bestseller list, not putting yourself out there, how is that moving you toward the goal of being on the New York Times bestseller list? And it's not, right? So what would life look like? And this is really important to think about. What would life look like if you weren't afraid to succeed? How would that look? And maybe you'd say something like, well, I'd be fearless. I wouldn't care what anybody thought. I would just go for it and I would follow my dreams. I'd follow my passion. Okay, so if that's what it would look like, and how would you feel when that happened? Oh, well, I'd feel amazing. I'd be achieving my goals. Wow, okay, maybe I would get that New York Times bestseller list because I'd be trying for it, right? So if you kind of logically talk yourself through it and you think, all right, well, now that I'm out of that little mindset trap, what's one thing I can do right away to start living like that, to start living my passion, to be fearless, to not worry about what people think, and not worrying if your book will sell? What would you do? Maybe the answer is you'd pursue the story of your heart and not what the market's looking for right now. Maybe it would be to, just put yourself out there, enter a contest, do a live video, proclaim your goal to the world. Whatever it is, what's one small thing you'd be comfortable doing, and then do that thing. So it's, asking yourself some questions around it. What is my goal? Really, what's holding me back? What is it I'm really afraid of? How is that fear helping you get to your goal? It's not, right? And what are you doing as a result of it? Nothing. Okay. So what would you like to do? What would it look like if you could move yourself forward? What would that feel like? That's really important. And one small thing you can do right away to get you there. So just asking yourself some questions like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Is it moving me forward? If not, what can I do to move myself forward? Because I really want that thing. I'm going to feel so great and amazing and proud of myself. How do I get there? Okay, easier said than done, and I know that. But these are just some things that you can ask yourself. Another way to look at it, and this is a simpler way, and it's a quicker way, and it's like in the moment, you're just down and you're just not, you don't feel good about the whole writing thing. So with everything, right, with everything you do, there is a preceding feeling and a preceding thought. So it starts thought, feeling, behavior. There's a thought in your head, whether you recognize it or not. You feel a certain way, whether you recognize it or not, and you do something about it. So to get control of that is understanding all of those pieces, right? So when you don't feel good, you're not writing, you don't know why. Why am I not writing that book? Oh, I'm just not getting up early. I'm tired. No, why are you really not doing it, right? What do you think about yourself? What's the thought that pops in your head? Okay, well, I'm a terrible writer, actually. Like, I'm really bad. Okay. How do you feel when you think you're a terrible writer? Well, I really feel bad about myself. I don't feel good. All right. And what are you doing when you feel bad about yourself and you think you're a terrible writer? Well, I'm procrastinating, I'm staying safe, I'm not writing, I'm just making excuses. Okay, how are all of those things helping you achieve your big goal that you defined of being on the New York Times bestseller list? Well, it's not. Okay, so let's go back and let's change that a little bit, okay? So what's a thought that could help you get to your goal, pursue your goal, right? And if you can't think of anything really specific, just go for the opposite. I'm a terrible writer, I'm an amazing writer. Okay, so we'll try it out. All right, well, I'll just think I'm an amazing writer. Okay, if you really believed you were an amazing writer, how would that feel? That would feel awesome. I'd have confidence and I'd feel great about myself. Great. If you felt great about yourself and you had confidence and you really thought you were an awesome writer, what would you do? Okay, well, I would take on the world. I would put myself out there. I would go for it. I would know that that New York Times bestseller list is coming for me. Okay, so if that's the case, that one thing we did, the only thing we did was we changed the thought. And that is something you can do. And even if it doesn't feel authentic in the beginning, but you practice it more and more, it will. And it will be authentic. And the feeling will be real and the action will be real because you're going to try it on for size because it's going to move you towards your goal. And if you're not moving towards your goal, why are you doing this, right? Where we have a goal, whatever that goal is, move toward it. And do it with passion and love. That the reason that you write those stories and the reason your readers come back for you is because of those things. So, these are just some ideas, but start thinking like that. Like when you're stopped in your tracks from what it is you really want, ask yourself why. Why aren't you moving forward? What are you afraid of? What if you weren't afraid? What would it look like? How would you feel? Maybe try it on for size. Maybe just tell yourself, I'm not afraid. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm going for it. Like I said, even if it's not authentic in the beginning, it will be. Just keep practicing. Just, fake it till you make it. Because when you do that, you do gain confidence. And it's amazing how when you feel something, it affects you on all levels and you're able to actually pick up that laptop or that pen and paper and you're going to go with it and you're going to believe in yourself. And then you believe in yourself, you're your biggest champion. So, and the secret here, the big secret here too, is when you're stuck with a character, go through this process with them. What are they thinking? What's holding them back? What's the monster inside of them? What's it saying? And that's in the beginning, right? When we pull them back to the worst place that they could be and we put them through all the stuff. And then at the end, when they've transformed, what happened to the monster? Did she hug it? Did she kill it? Like, what'd she do? And what is she telling herself now, or he? And these are just some secrets and things, but we're going through the same thing. This is life. This is the experience and the writing experience. So be your biggest fan. Don't hold yourself back. Do whatever it is you need to do. Even if it's a temporary thought change, that's in your control. And again, I know it's not easy, guys. I know this isn't like the answer to all your prayers, but I feel like with practice, this becomes a habit. And through the habit, things change. And when things change, and you start going for these things and taking these risks and believing yourself and being proud of yourself and celebrating, and you don't hold yourself back, amazing things can happen. So guys, if you want more coaching stuff, certainly you can find all of that at ChristinaRienzi.com under Write Life. I also have a Facebook group, Write Life. It's WRITE Life, and it's my coaching Facebook group. You're free to join. And also, all my books and information at ChristinaRienzi.com. So go forth, write, be your biggest fan, and don't hold yourself back anymore. You got this.